Sayyidina Abu Huraira radiyallahu anhu reports that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said something to the effect: beware of committing injustice, for injustice will be darkness on the day of resurrection. Beware of obscenity, for Allah does not love obscenity and immorality. Beware of greed, for it tempted those before you and caused them to make lawful what is unlawful, to shed blood and sever family ties. Narrated by Musnad Imam Ahmad.
جلستنا محلاها تجمعنا المحبة في الله الأخوة غيمتنا التواصل وامطار لقياكم.
It is the very early hours of Tuesday morning, and the houses of Fietas are in complete darkness, as its residents are all in a deep slumber. Many of the older people are dreaming of a time gone by, when Fietas was in its heyday. Even the vagrants and the homeless are resting peacefully in their makeshift beds, when suddenly the sound of sirens shatters the stillness of the night air.
نبدأ خطوة بخطوة أهلا هلا فيكم بالحب نحييكم معكم سعادتنا في برنامج عشوة في برنامج عشوة. لا 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 لا.
Ali Baba is roused from his sleep by the noise, and he gets up and goes to the window, pulling the curtain aside to peer out into the moonlit darkness. A moment later, he hears footsteps behind him, and he's joined at the window by his grandson Yahya.
What's going on, Nana?
It's the police, Yahya. Every few months, they carry out a raid to round up all the vagrants and the homeless and the illegals here in Fietas.
In the middle of the night?
Yep, they want to catch people unawares.
Oh. And then what do they do to them?
Well, they deport the foreigners, lock up the criminals, and the rest of them get sent to the shelters. But not for long. They all return in a couple of days or weeks. Some of them eventually even return here after years.
But why? No offense, Nana, but Fietas is not even a nice place to stay in anymore.
I suppose they're comfortable here. Like me, Fietas is the only place they call home.
عشوة شوف العشوة عشوة فيها لمة عشوة تسعد قلبك في برنامج عشوة في برنامج عشوة. لا 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 لا
The usually cool and fresh mountain air has become hot and stifling in the lounge of the Ghani's holiday home. Farouk and Salma's 3 teenage boys are sitting, riveted at the drama unfolding in front of them. Nazia realizes that this is not the place for them, and she gives them each a meaningful look. One by one, they all leave the room until it is only the adults who are left to deal with this new problem.
Ya Allah, Ruby, is that true?
Rubina, what did you just say?
You heard right. It was me. I went to the media with the story of Aman's kidnapping.
How could you, Rubina?
Ha! Your own sister betrayed you.
No, I didn't. I just wanted to get Aman some help. He's my nephew after all.
How is that helping him, Rubina? You know the kidnappers specifically said not to get cops involved.
But I didn't go to the police. I went to the media, and I didn't even give them names.
That's really stupid of you. Obviously, the cops will get involved when they get wind of the news.
I'm sorry. I didn't think.
Well, there's no use crying over spilt milk. We'll just have to deal with the cops when they get to us. Hassan, I'm sorry. I just assumed you told Maryam about the kidnapping and she gave the story to the media. I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, thanks for coming and offering your support. But there's really nothing you can do to help.
Actually, Farouk, I came to offer some financial assistance.
Hassan, I don't think you understand. The ransom is really high and even all my money put together is not going to cut it. And I know you don't have much. I don't know what we're going to do.
I can't understand why you want to take all our money and use it for that child of yours.
Salma!
How can you say that, Salma? Aman is my child, and I will do anything to get him home safely, even if it means using all of my money to do it.
Salma,
I know we haven't spoken in years, but please don't do this. If you make Farouk take sides, he might turn against you, and Aman is just an innocent child. Wouldn't you want Farouk to use everything he has to rescue one of your children if something happens to them?
Of course, I would. But Aman is not my child.
I understand that you're feeling hurt and upset, Salma, but Farouk is your husband, and I think you should stand by him now when he needs you the most. Farouk bhai, Maulana has a proposal to make.
What is it?
Farouk, remember I told you I wanted to sell our house in Fietas? Well, I have a buyer who's willing to upfront the money immediately, and he wants it together with the land next door that belonged to Papa.
You came here at a time like this to talk business?
Salma is right. We have other problems to deal with at the moment. And you'll get a pittance for that house and land. Fietas hasn't been in demand for years.
Please, just give Maulana a chance to explain.
As I was saying, the buyer is actually a property developer. He's planning to tear down the house and put up a block of flats on both stands. And the amount he's offering is way more than we'll ever get.
I don't understand. What does this have to do with me?
Farouk, half the house and land is yours. So automatically that money will come to you. And I want to give you my share so that you can put it towards the ransom for Aman.
Subhanallah.
Really? You would do that for me?
Of course. I would give up everything for you, Farouk. Do you think I forgot about how you took care of me when we had lost, first Papa and then Mummy? You're my brother, Farouk, and I would do anything to help you.
Farouk is bowled over by his brother's generous offer. And for the first time in years, he remembers the close relationship he had with Hassan. Tears come to his eyes as he recalls the time they spent growing up together in Fietas. Dealing with their father's murder, they shared the care of their broken-hearted mother, and then learning to fend for themselves as teenagers after she passed on. As the Fietas people used to say, they were the real blood brothers of Fietas. Farouk's heart aches when he thinks of how badly he has treated his brother in recent years. He always used the excuse of Salma's petty spat with Maryam to keep his distance from Hassan. But now it dawns on him that that was just an excuse, keeping him from maintaining family ties with his only brother. He remembers back to barely a week ago when he refused Hassan alone after he had lost everything, and he feels the guilt wash over him. For the first time since his mother's death, Farouk breaks down and sobs. After an emotionally draining night at the Makhali's estate, Salma is sitting alone at the kitchen table when Nazia comes down for breakfast. She approaches her mother with unusual gentleness.
Mom, what a night, huh? How are you doing after all of that?
I'm okay. I'm hanging in there.
It must have been really tough for you finding out about Farhana and Aman and then this whole kidnapping business, but having to deal with Hassan Papa and Maria Mami after all these years. Did they go home very late then?
No, they stayed over.
Really? Did Dad insist they stay?
No, I told them to stay.
Wow, really? That's such a nice thing of you to do. Mom, we all know how you can't stand Maria Mami.
Yes. Well, I decided to put aside my feelings for the time being and deal with them after Aman is found.
You surprise me sometimes, Mommy.
What else could I do? I am in a deep end already. I might as well swim. But Nazia, how are you doing? Are you feeling okay with all of this going on? I hope it's not making you more depressed.
I was feeling really down, even more so after I overheard you and Daddy fighting the other night about when I was conceived.
What? You heard us? Oh, my child, I'm so sorry. You were never meant to find out about that.
I know. I shouldn't have eavesdropped, but you're talking so loudly and I heard.
Oh, Nazia. I wish you hadn't heard us. But you must remember one thing. Your father and I made huge mistakes. but we've made a lot of istighfar for it in the hope that Allah will forgive us. But it shouldn't impact upon your life. You didn't do anything wrong.
I know, Mommy. I spoke to my therapist about it. I just wish I had known earlier, and then I would have understood all of these feelings of sadness and depression within me.
Later that morning, Farouk and Hassan are sitting on the patio outside the cottage, discussing the sale of the Fietas property with Farhana. She is no longer practicing lawyer, but she is helping them with the details of the contract. They hear footsteps along the way and see Zaidan walking towards them.
Hassan, Papa, it's so good that you stayed over.
It's beautiful out here, Zay. If it wasn't for the circumstances, I would have really enjoyed it.
It's just too sad about Aman. I just found out about him. But it's like, he's my brother, so like, I know him already, you know.
Zaidan, your midterm break will be over by the weekend, right? Inshallah, Aman will be home by then, so Mike will take you back on Sunday.
Daddy, I have something to tell you. I'm not going back to Redcliffe College.
What? Don't be ridiculous, Zaidan. Of course you're going back. I didn't bribe the principal for nothing.
You bribed the principal to get me into Redcliffe?
Of course. In this country, you don't get something for nothing.
Farouk, bribery is despised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You shouldn't be doing things like this.
I know, but you know how it is. What was it that you were telling me, Zaidan?
Dad, something happened.
What happened?
Dad, this is going to sound weird, but there's this guy I made friends with. His name was Sheldon, and he was a really cool guy, you know. So anyway, some of the other guys were saying some stuff about him, and I should have listened to them, but I didn't believe it at first. So then, the one night,
Yes? What happened?
This guy, Sheldon, he tried to make advances on me. And turns out what the other guys were saying about him was true.
I don't understand, Zaidan. What are you saying?
Sheldon turned out to be gay.
What? Oh no. And you didn't even notice. Did he get to you? I mean, did he?
No, Dad. I managed to scare him off in time. But I should have listened to the other guys. And I should have picked up the warning signs.
It's not your fault, Zay. You were not brought up to be aware of these things.
Come on, Hassan. These kids are on their phones all the time nowadays. They shouldn't be oblivious of what is going on in the world out there.
We are aware of what's going on, Dad. It's just I never expected it to happen to me.
We should make shukr that nothing did happen to Zaidan. Alhamdulillah. Allah protected him. But I think he shouldn't go back to that school. I did speak to him about it before he left, and when he told me about it on the phone, I realized that he can't remain in that kind of an environment.
Hey, you spoke to him before he left for Redcliffe. Since when have you been in contact with Zaidan? I thought you didn't have any contact with my kids since the fallout between our wives.
Zaidan used to come to me, for his door, and I...
Daddy, Hassan Papa has been helping with my hifz since I started. I used to find it hard to read to you and Mom. And one day when I saw him in the masjid in Houghton, I approached him and asked him for help.
Who would have guessed that my son had to sneak around behind my back to form a relationship with his uncle?
Are you mad at me for doing that, Dad?
Before all of this happened, I would have been. But now, I'm actually relieved that you found someone you could trust to confide in. And who better than my own brother? Subhanallah. Allah works in mysterious ways.
It is late Tuesday afternoon, and as soon as Yahya gets home from madrasa, he and Ali Baba take their usual walk around Fietas. The streets are unusually quiet after the cleanup earlier, and the scattering of vagrants and beggars are nowhere to be seen.
You know, Yahya, every few months, once the streets have been cleaned up and cleared of all the dangerous elements, I can almost picture Fietas as it used to be in its glory days.
Ah, Nana, you'll never leave this place. You love it too much.
I do, my boy. I can still hear the azan here. I can take my evening walk, and we have the benefit of being close to all the shops and even the highway when I need to come and visit you.
The grandfather and grandson are almost on the top of 13th Street when Ali Baba suddenly stumbles and loses his balance. Before he can go crashing to the ground, Yahya grabs his arm and stops his fall. Nevertheless, the old man is shaken and out of breath, and Yahya leads him to the steps of the broken down house to recover before they continue with their walk.
Phew, Nana, that was close.
It was. Alhamdulillah, you saved me.
Rest for a bit, Nana. We'll carry on with our walk just now.
Okay, I do need to.
Help! Please, can you hear me? Help!
Nana, did you hear that? It sounds like somebody is trapped inside the house.
عشوة شوف العشوة عشوة فيها لمة عشوة تسعد قلبك في برنامج عشوة في برنامج عشوة لا 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 في خير الليالي جلستنا محلاها تجمعنا المحبة في الله الأخوة غيمتنا التواصل وامطاره لقياكم وازهاره ضحكاتكم في الأوقات الحلوة.
Despite it being winter, the day has warmed up nicely, and Salma and her children are sitting down to lunch on the patio of their Makhalis estate holiday home.
Mommy, how are you holding up?
I'm okay, all things considered. I just hope Aman is found so that life can go back to normal.
It won't really be normal though, will it?
It will be the new norm, like us. See? Who would have ever thought that we would be spending our matric year having a jol at our holiday home?
Remember when we started the year, Mum? You and Dad gave us that long lecture going on about studying hard and not skipping off school and this and that and that and that. But now look at us, forced by our parents into bunking. Really?
Yeah, if I fail prelims, I'll just tell Dad that it was because of our holiday before we wrote.
Can't you two ever be serious? We just found out that we have a stepmother and a half-brother who has been kidnapped, and all you can talk about is skipping school.
Well, I for one am glad that I'm here and not at Redcliffe College.
Allah really protected you, my son. But now, where will you go to school?
Mommy, I was thinking, since half the year is over already, maybe I should do Hifz full time for the rest of the year, and then we can decide next year about school.
I don't know if Daddy will be happy with that idea, but I suppose after what's happened to you at that boarding school, he might just reconsider.
Luckily, I chose to study online, so I haven't fallen behind on my work, unlike you lot. Here comes the goons. I wonder what they want, but I'm gonna stick around to find out. I have work to do. Bye.
Me too. I think I'll have a nap after that long night.
Afternoon, people.
How's it, guys?
I thought you guys had gone to the office with Dad and Molana.
No, we're here to protect you guys. Your dad and his brother have Mike with them.
We've been working on getting a tracer on the kidnapper's phone, but it's been a challenge because they haven't contacted your dad since the weekend.
Yeah, Dad is dead worried about that. He was hoping that call so he can get details of the handover, and he desperately wants to take him on.
Any luck so far in getting a trace, though?
Actually, we did get a signal coming from somewhere near Joburg city center last night, but we lost it again around 3 a.m.
Maybe you should still go check out the area though, just in case.
Yup, maybe if you are nearer that side, you'd be able to pick up the signal again.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Trev will stay here with you guys.
We'll be fine here on our own. No need to worry about us.
Mr. G will have our heads for us if he finds out we left you alone.
Definitely. He already has one child missing. The last thing he needs is for something to happen to one of you as well.
Help! Please, can you hear me? Help!
Nana, did you hear that? It sounds like somebody is trapped inside the house.
Oh no. The police were here last night and they rounded up all the vagrants. Maybe this one got locked up in the house and they didn't see him.
Ali Baba and his grandson Yahya have just heard a call for help from inside the deserted house, where the old man has stopped to recover after his near fall.
But that sounds like a child, Nana.
You're right. It does sound like there's a child trapped inside. Hello? Can you hear me?
Nana, let's see if we can get into the house. Maybe we can rescue him.
Okay. Let's walk around the outside.
Ali Baba and Yahya walk around the outside of the house and they can still hear what sounds like the rattling of chains. But when they call out, there is no longer a voice answering them from within.
Whoever it is isn't calling for help any longer. Nana, do you think it could have been a ghost?
A ghost? No, my boy. I don't think so. We both distinctly heard a child calling for help.
Then a jinn? Maybe a small jinn?
Possible, but jinn don't need help getting in and out of houses. They go through the walls. If there's a child trapped in there, we're going to have to call the police.
No, wait, Nana. I think I know who it is. It's Aman, the boy who was kidnapped.
What? No, that can't be possible. If it is him, we are the kidnappers. They would never leave him alone.
You said the police were here last night. Maybe the kidnappers were outside and the cops took them away, thinking that they were vagrants.
Yeah, maybe you're right, my boy.
Should we call the cops then, Nana?
No, I'm going to call Mulana and see if he can come through immediately with Farouk. I know he stayed over in Maghalisburg last night, but they probably came into town today to work on finding Aman.
Yo, Nana, imagine if it is Aman inside the house.
Inshallah, it is, inshallah.
While the rest of the family is at the Mohalis estate, Farouk and Hassan have gone to Farouk's office to finalize the sale of their father's house with the buyer. Farouk has managed to raise over 3/4 of the ransom money, and the money from the sale of the house will just about cover the balance. They spend the rest of the afternoon with the buyer, Mr. Ismail, and Farhana, who is representing them as their lawyer. Just as the brothers are about to sign over their house, Hassan's phone rings.
Who is it, Hassan?
It's our old neighbor, Ali Bhai. I'll call him back later.
Just answer now. Maybe it's something about the house. You did say he was checking on it while you were staying with us.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Molana, come quickly, back to Fietas.
Ali Bhai, you're sounding sick. Are you having an asthma attack?
No, you have to get here right now. Bring Farouk quickly.
But... Hello?
What was that all about? What did he want?
I don't know. He just said you and I need to get to Fietas urgently. But then the phone cut. Let me try and call him back.
Maulana Hassan tries to call Ali Baba back, but there is no reception, and he does not go through. The brothers make mashwara and decide to respond to the old man's urgent call. Apologizing profusely to the buyer, they promise to meet with him later. The pair rush off to Fietas with Mike and Farhana, speculating about Ali Baba's call. Despite the time of the day, there is little traffic, and in a matter of minutes, they pull up outside Ali Baba's house.
There's no answer.
Maulana Hassan, come up here, by the greenhouse.
Who's that now?
That's Ali Bhai's grandson. Quick, we better go and see what he wants.
Should I come or must I wait in the car?
You had better come with Farhana. You can't stay here alone. Fietas is not safe anymore.
All four race up the road to find Ali Baba sitting on the steps of the deserted greenhouse, pale and out of breath.
Ali Bhai, what's going on? You look terrible. Is it a heart attack? Let me call an ambulance.
No, I'm fine. Listen, can you hear that?
No. What are you talking about?
I can hear it. It sounds like metal rattling. A chain or something from inside the house, right?
Yeah, we also thought it was chains. There was a voice earlier calling out for help.
Must be one of the vagrants who break into these houses and make it their home. He's probably drunk or something.
No, Farouk, it was the voice of a child.
What? Do you think?
Ya Allah, can it be a man?
Well, it's very likely. We had a trace on the kidnapper's cell phone last night, and it was coming from somewhere near the inner city. But we lost the trace in the early hours of the morning.
What time was that?
Around 3 a.m.
Oh my word. That was the time the cops were here, rounding up all the vagrants and the illegals.
Subhanallah. Do you think they could have taken the kidnappers and locked them up along with the others?
That's what I thought. So I called you, Maulana. It's possible that the kidnappers were caught off guard and that they got thrown into the police van as well.
Maybe that's why they haven't been in touch with you again, Mr. G.
Oh, I hope they got caught. Then it must be a man locked up inside.
I wonder why he didn't call out when the police came, though.
Sir, the kidnappers probably scared him to staying silent, you know.
Maybe that's why he's quiet now. Maybe he thinks the kidnappers are back.
All the speculation is just wasting time. If it is Aman in there, we need to get him out right now.
Wait, let me try speaking to him. He knows my voice, so if it is him, he'll answer. Aman, it's me, Ummi.
Ummi, I'm here. Help, I'm inside.
Ya Rab, it is Aman. Quick, we have to get him out.
We tried. There's no way in. The house is boarded up all around.
We'll find a way. Even if I have to tear those boards down with my bare hands, I'll get my son out.
Now I'm with you, sir.
And I'll help you, Bai.
Working together, Mike and the brothers find a board covering one of the bedroom windows that is not as secure or as thick as the others. They pull with all their might until the board gives way, tearing the nails from the wall. Behind the board is a broken window, and Yahya, being the smallest, is the only one who can fit through. He climbs in carefully and looks around at the musty, dimly lit room. Seeing nothing in the room, he goes into the passage and locates another room with the door closed. He pushes the door open, and in the darkness, he can just make out a tiny figure lying on a single mattress, his hand chained to the bars of the window above him.
Are you Aman?
Yes. Who are you?
I'm Yahya.
I heard my Ummi's voice.
Yes, your mommy's outside, and your dad, and your uncle. They've come to rescue you.
They can't. I'm chained. And the kidnappers, they're coming back. They said so. They'll kill me if...
Shh, don't worry. It's going to be okay. No one can hurt you now.
Almost 2 months later, spring is finally in the air, and even in Fietas, on the unoccupied land, small budding plants and flowers push their way through the hardened soil, promising change in the new season. Farouk Ghani and his family have been through many challenges through the winter, but now that spring is finally here, they are starting to recognize the positive change that has come from these tests. Salma has accepted that Farhana and Aman are a part of Farouk's life. And although she knows that she will always resent the other woman in her husband's life, she has decided that in order to keep her family and her sanity intact, she will remain married to Farouk. Nazia is continuing with her studies online, and she has found a new therapist to help her deal with her depression. Knowing the cause of it makes it easier for her to deal with the feelings she encounters. Zaidan has enrolled at full-time Hifz, and he is blossoming away from the toxic environment of the school he was in. The incident with Sheldon is now just a distant, unpleasant memory. The twins are studying hard for their final exams, and Aman is seeing a psychologist and a psychiatrist for the trauma he had to go through with the kidnapping. He has opted out of going to school and is being homeschooled by his mother. Farhana fears that he is developing social anxiety, but as she has been told by Aman's therapist, it takes time for time to heal some wounds. Farhana and Aman are back in their old house, enjoying the time that Farouk now openly and fairly spends with them. Without either of his wives present, Farouk often takes all of his children out for supper together so that Aman can bond with his siblings. And Farouk himself has come to realize the importance of maintaining the ties of kinship. One sunny day in September, Farouk and his brother Mulana Hassan are taking a walk around the town that they grew up in, along with their father's dear friend Ali Baba. They have come to witness the bulldozing of the house where Aman was held hostage by the kidnappers.
Subhanallah. such a lot has happened in this past couple of months. Did you ever think we'd be happy to see a bulldozer after what we witnessed in the past?
Yes. Did you ever think we'd be standing here, watching a house come down again? Do you remember when we were younger and we would hear the bulldozers coming? How you would cry, Hassan, for the house that was being bulldozed?
Ah, Farouk, I wasn't crying for the house. I was crying for the poor people who were left homeless.
You always had a soft heart, Hassan. Maybe that's why Allah blessed you with knowledge and not with wealth. I envy you for that.
But look how you've changed since the incident with Aman, Farouk. I think your heart has also become soft. See how you're using your money to uplift the area of Fietas. The Fietas people are so grateful to you for making their town inhabitable again. Now it is me who should be envying you. Let me share something with you, Farouk. Hazrat Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates, he says, I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, there are only two people worthy of envy. A person whom Allah ta'ala has given wealth and empowers him to spend it in righteous causes, and the other, Allah has given knowledge by means of which he makes sound judgments and teaches it to others.
عشوة شوف العشوة عشوة فيها لمة عشوة تسعد قلبك في برنامج عشوة في برنامج عشوة لا 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 لا.
We're excited to announce that the Radio Islam app is available on Android as well as the iOS platform. Download it today. Access seamless streaming, salah times, recipes and all other features available for free from Radio Islam International.